Welcome everyone, my name is Isaac.Duenas. I'm a mortgage loan officer outside of Cleveland, Ohio for a company called Nations Lending. Today, for you, live, just kidding, it's not live, but imagine it's live. We have a dumb question from Reddit. Dumb question, but my refinance, dumb question, but my refinance is approved, right? Oh, I love these stories because they really emphasize how useless some loan officers are. Just remember this when you're shopping around. Remember stories like this one, because it doesn't really matter what the closing costs are. Because if this lender is not able to close on the beautiful 1.5% interest rate, fixed rate, 30 years. Perfection of a mortgage, the best deal of the century. Yes, but if they are not able to close on that deal, what do I care about anything they told me? What do I care about the interest rate, closing cost, whatever? Because if you cannot close, there is no loan, period. Anyway, let's read this. This person says, doing a refinance and communication with the bank is pretty crappy. They still have their branches closed for COVID. Well, that kind of sucks. And absolutely everything has been done online. I had one phone call after the online application where they gave me a rate and locked me in. Then the originator sent me an email with documents necessary and info to sign in their mortgage portal. So I did that. A few days later, I get an email from the processor. He asked me for more documents before they can do a final approval and for them to be faxed to him. Who faxes crap these days? I replied back the next day asking if I can just upload them to the portal, since who faxes anything anymore? And I get an auto reply that he's unavailable for 2 weeks. Let me make a few comments here, okay? Normally these local credit unions, these big, huge banks, you have one person that originates the loan, which means that they write down the application and then they have their processors. Normally the originator is not with you through the whole process. It's just there to collect an application, put it in the big cabinet folder with tons and thousands and millions of applications, and then just wait for the processor to touch your file. There's no communication. You have no clue of what's going on. There's no text messages updating you with what's going on. No emails, no phone calls, no nothing. Now, see, when you do a refinance with me, my head is already big, so it's gonna get even bigger now after making this video, but I do my absolutely best to, within 48 hours, I normally give it around a minimum of 48 hours, I send a text message saying, hey, your application has been submitted to the processors. The processors are sending this to the underwriters. The underwriters are giving you the conditional approval. Don't worry, you're gonna be contacted by this. Like, how can I say, direct lenders, and that's what we are, that's what Nations Lending is. They walk you through the whole process from beginning to end, and that's the beauty of it. Now, should you be contacted every 48 hours? Probably not. That's probably too much. Each person is different, but that's where a professional, a loan officer comes in and he determines what's your comfort zone. Okay, this person probably wants to be updated every 3 days, 4 days, a week, or every 2 days. But anyway, okay. I sent an email to the originator last Thursday, so the person that created the application, and no reply. So I just go ahead and uploaded the documents to the portal anyway. Today, I get an email from the closing attorney asking for my latest mortgage statement so he can order a payoff, which is a good thing. I mean, this guy didn't know. I mean, I know the process. I know that if they're ordering a payoff, it's because most likely they're getting closer to the end, which is a wonderful thing. The problem is that someone should be telling you this. You shouldn't have to go to Reddit to guess it or to figure out what's going on. Does that make sense? But I haven't heard anything from the bank since they asked for the additional documents last Wednesday. I haven't had my emails. I haven't had any emails or calls returned. Nobody from the bank has told me, you're approved. All good. You can stop worrying. That must mean I'm approved. If I'm getting an email today that the closing attorney to issue a payoff, right? Maybe, most likely. But the real question here is, what do you mean with you are approved? You can go through the whole process of a mortgage from beginning to end, to closing, to signing. But that mortgage still needs to fund. It needs to go through funding. So what that means is that the title company has to release the money to pay off your credit cards, car payments, to pay off the mortgage from the other lender, etc. Right? So what do you mean with pay off? Like, do you mean that you... well, it's late. After this video, I'm going to bed. And I think this is working, making videos late at night, at least it's working for me. What do you mean with if I've been approved? If you really think that the final approval is the end line, you're like, I've been finally approved, from now on everything is just wonderful and great. In the perfect world, that would be absolutely great. Let me pop the bubble for you. That's not true. You can even sign the closing documents. The notary might leave your home. What happens if the notary forgets a signature? And today, by the way, is the last day of closing for the month. So what happens if that notary, I don't know, something happens, he gets in a car accident, the car gets on fire and the papers burned out, and he cannot come to see you until the next day. Then what? Well, it's only 24 hours, Isaac, right? Well, 24 hours in the mortgage industry, it could be the difference between being approved or losing your approval or being declined or having a late payment on your mortgage because your loan officer didn't tell you that they didn't collect all the signatures necessary, didn't tell you that they couldn't close because there was a problem on the title of the house, didn't tell you that he went on vacation. And all these problems happened while he was on vacation. So my message to the people that like to shop around is, instead of just worrying so much about that additional $500 in your title fee, in your credit report, in your commitment fee, origination fee, you need to focus about, how is the communication between my loan officer with me? How is the communication between processors with me? How is the communication of this company through the whole process from beginning to end? Because that, my friend, sometimes can be worth thousands of dollars, if not even more. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. See you, bye.